My name is Brigadier General Datuk Arshad, Raji. I am from Selangor. Was born in a place called Ulangat in Kajang. I was born in 1943, during the peak of the Second World War. But of course, I did not know what's happening because the only new thing I knew about the Second World War is my mother used to tell me that she used to bring me out into the jungle to hide me out, to hide from the Japanese. That's the only incident that I could recall, because I can actually see what's happening at that point in time. But my father, being a government servant, he works for a hospital. So I actually grew up in KL. I was born in the village, but I grew up in KL. So I am very much an urban boy. Yeah. We were staying in a place called the road then was known as Circular Road. Circular Road, just behind the hospital. And we were staying in the hospital quarters. That's where we lived. And in KL. Yes, you're right. My father works in hospital. So I grew up in hospital, and I had very good neighbors because we were living in quarters, right? So I grew up among people of various races. That's why I'm like this today. I didn't grow up in the kampong. So yeah, I grew up in one of the various races. And I went to school. My first school was Patriot school, if you remember. Patriot school, that's where I started my primary school. And then I went from my secondary school, I went to Maxwell School, the famous school. They call it the school for where thugs are. That's the school. But I grew up, it was a wonderful school. We had a wonderful life in school because it was a multiracial sort of school. And we are still friends. Still have old friends. We still can communicate with each other. And after having completed my Form 5, I worked for a while at PM's department and right under the nose of Tunku Brahman. Because I said to you just now, we were staying in quarters, right? Government quarters. So I was the only. There were 5 units, yeah, and we were the only Malay family. The rest 4 units were all Indian. So I grew up in the Indian community, and I know a bit of Tamil, right? And all my friends, at the point in time, they did not teach me to speak Tamil. No, they taught me to speak English. See, all of them spoke English. I spoke English with them. That's why I started learning English at a very early age. If I stayed in kampung, it would be different. Yeah. So I started learning English at a very early age. Of course, we don't have TV. We don't have tablets or handphone at that point in time. The only games we played outside, of course, we had also a group of friends of my age, both males and female. We were playing together as kids. And we played things like, Konda Kondi? Konda Kondi, you know? Konda Kondi. That's a very funny name, right? Yeah, that game, I know, how do you describe that game, huh? They have a stick like that, and then you tepuk the stick, you know? And then the opponent must catch the stick. That's how it is. Of course, we were sometimes we are a bit naughty at that one age. We used to steal fruits. Belakang rumah, I tried some fruit trees, rambutan trees and all that, mango trees and all that. So we were kids, so we start stealing fruits and all that, yeah. And then we used to also kacau. When my neighbor had a chicken farm, yeah, at the back of their house, and I used to kacau the chicken line, and sort of thing. Different altogether. KL was a very quiet town. I just had when I used to accompany my mom to market. We just walk. We don't have to from our quarters to Chowkir Road. We just walk, and there was not much of traffic then. Of course, when you go further up the town, of course we had to take there's a bus service and all that. And for schooling, even when I was in primary school, in Patriot school, I walked to school. And when I was in secondary school, Maxwell School, which was quite close to our house, I walked. I don't have the privilege of being chauffeured around in cars and all that. That's how it is. The life was different, was very much different. And schooling life was very interesting, of course. I wasn't the naughty boy lah in the class. I was very obedient. In fact, in my school reports, it says that I was very obedient, a very obedient boy. Well, the teacher, my the first, my English teacher was an Indian from Ceylon. They done at that point in time, they imported teachers from abroad, from India particularly, India and Ceylon. So my English teacher was my first English teacher was Ceylonese, and luckily I did not adapt that lingo. Of course, my maths arithmetic teacher was Chinese. I remember that. And then we have got a very good discipline teacher. What was his name? A.P. Chin. A.P. Chin. One of his sons will later join me when in secondary school. He was a discipline teacher. I got hit for for being naughty in class. So this is the type of life I had during my early schooling days, and right up until secondary school. And as I said, I was rather obedient a bit. I was not that naughty. Yeah, that was a wonderful life. We are urban school, and most urban schools are multiracial. You know that, even in primary school, I was in Butcher school. It's multiracial school. Even when I was in secondary school, master's school, it was a multiracial school. And now we don't. At that point in time, it's so different now than what I had gone through. The life was so simple, so easy. Everyone was so friendly. We were friends. Until today, I still communicate with my friends till today. So when we meet each other, we hug each other and all that. Yes, we do that. Only yesterday, I met one of my schoolmates, but they were my juniors. We had lunch together yesterday over my junior. But we still respect each other, although he's my junior in school. But we respect each other. Just because we are from the same school. Yeah, that's how life was like. Yes, it is. It is. Some people ask me, Arshad, you seem to be, I said, that's my lifestyle. I was brought up that way. I said, I can't change my lifestyle. You see? So I say, I always believe, Patriot, as I always say, Patriot, we don't look for colors. I say, I will keep repeating that. We don't look for colors. We're all the same. That's what this is Malaysia. We are Malaysians. In my statement I made in the last PC, we are Malaysians. Why when we go out elsewhere, when people ask you where are you from, I'm Malaysian. I don't say I'm Malay or I'm a Chinese or a Tamil. No, we are Malaysian. But why so reluctant to call yourself Malaysian here? That was what I said in my press statement. After Mansfield, okay, I worked for a while. After I finished my school certificate, I worked for a while. I worked for at the Prime Minister's Department there for about 2 years, I think. Then I quit. I said, as a clerk, yes, I was working as a clerk, right under the nose of Tengku Brahman.
So I mean that's quite interesting as well. 2 years working in
Yeah.
government's office. What was it?
That point in time, I should have taken advantage, because that time I was not ambitious at that point in time. If I had asked him, I want a scholarship to go overseas, he would have given me. But I was not that kind of ambitious. I don't see the thing at that point in time. Oh, he's a lovely man. He's a wonderful man. The only thing, his habit, but we know what his habits are. With his staff, his press secretary or Sule, he's so friendly, a very friendly old man. And when he goes back home for lunch, he must sleep. He must take a nap. That we know. What we can tell ourselves when he's coming back to office. We know. So that's temperament. Half hours and have a lunch, and he takes a short nap. Actually, short nap. That's how it is. That's the only experience I had. What happened was when he's not in the office, me and my some of the staff would go into his office. I used to sit in his office. I used to be in the office, and I tried to imitate his signature. He got his signature very easy, So we used to do that. So that my little experience I had in working here.
As a clerk there, and then
And then after that, I said I'm bored. I said, and then suddenly there was an advert in the paper that said that we're looking for the armed forces looking for cadets to join the Air Force, Navy, and Army. So I applied. Of course, I got it because I got a very strong letter from the private secretary of the I told him I'm leaving. I want to join the army. Okay, he wrote a letter, a recommended letter, and I gave the letter through to the interviewer. Now, I went through the full interview. Lah. Oh, yes, yes. Tengku Osman and Tengku Rahman, they're related. I think Tengku Osman, Tengku is the uncle of Tengku Osman Jiwa. Tengku Osman Jiwa then was the chief of defense forces. He used to visit, and he used to come to the office in full military regalia. I said, which is wonderful. I said, wonderful uniform. What is this? I didn't know he was the chief then. I was so inspired by that uniform. And the other one is, medical school, in front of my school then was a military camp. It was a big military camp. I remember it was 4 Ramley. And the late Sergeant Pahang was also a captain of the regiment. It was 4 Ramley then. We used to make use of the facilities. There's a field there. We used to play football and all that. And I used to see a lot of the soldiers going through parades and all that. I became very attracted to it. And that inspired me, I think. I did all these things. One, of course, the wonderful uniform that I saw the general wear. And then the life that's so disciplined in the way they discipline themselves in the camp. That really inspired me to join the armed forces. No, I was in the army. And I had dreams of being in the army, of become officer of the army. I dreamed, actually. So my dream came true when I was elected to join the army cadet. Well, cadet training was a bit. I would no regret because this wasn't my first choice. I wanted to be in the armed forces, but I wanted to be an army officer. And the life was, of course, as a cadet, you get bullied, but it's part of the training and all that to build your character. To say that they've been buggering you, no. They buggered you because you want to change your character. See how strong you are mentally and physically. So we had to very, very rigorous training. So we got through. Now remember that's the time when the army was expanding. So they wanted. I went through the short service commission course, which was 6 months, because army expand. They need officers at one time. It was a short of officers. They need required officers at one time. So we went through a 6 months training. You see, there was a sort of crash program, as opposed to the normal 1 year training. We went through a 6 month training. So I was commissioned in February of 1996. I went in 95, so I went in 96, yeah. 1966. Not 96, 1966. I joined 65. Yes, just towards the end. I was part of the. Konfrontasi ends in 1965, kan? Or 66, 1966. So it just was the end of the confrontation period. Okay, my first posting was in Kluang. I joined I was an infantry officer. My first battalion was 6 Royal in Kluang. That's where I served the battalion for about 5 years. And then I was promoted lieutenant. I was posted to become a staff at headquarters 6th Brigade in Singapore. And I was promoted captain there. And I stayed in the brigade quarters as a staff for about 2 years. And I got married. I got married at 69. So I got married and I brought my wife to Singapore. And in Singapore, at that point, we just took over the Gurkha camp. There was a big Gurkha camp, a cantonment in Singapore. It is still there. We took over the camp, and I, being just a newly married officer, they gave me a quarter which is so big. It's a huge military quarters. There were only 3 of us. I brought my wife, and we brought a maid. The 3 of us staying in that big house. That was the first time I experienced staying in the military quarters.
What was it like those early years as a young officer in Kluang?
Wonderful. I think when I was in 6 Ramley in Kluang, we were deployed. We went for our first deployment we deployed to Labuan. For Labuan, the battalion quarters was based in Labuan, but the operations were all conducted in the borders of Sarawak. So I was deployed to a place called Bekalalan. You remember that place? It's a beautiful place, Bekalalan, just close to the border, Indonesian border. That was towards the end of the competition. So we sit there, I sit there. It's a very cold place. It's very cold. It's very cold. And well, we stayed there for about, I stayed for about 6 months, and they pulled me back to be in Labuan.
All the way.
That was my first operational experience.
What was it like?
Well, it's wonderful because being first time experiencing what operations is about, it's very interesting. That's where you exercise your command, actually.
What did you do in Bakalarang? What was the harmonious role?
Because we have to maintain the post. We have got a guard post where we maintain, because it was very close to the border. Well, although it was towards the end of confrontation, it was very close to the Indonesian border. We were looking for infiltrators in case they infiltrate into our border. That was my duty there.
Interesting. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you met your wife.
Okay. Well, I met my dear wife when I was serving in Kluang. Yeah, as I said to you, my first deployment, posting was in Kluang. That was in 1966. So being there for about 4 years, of course, you will meet somebody.
So she's from Johor?
She's from Kluang. She's from Kluang. She's the last from Kluang, so we decided to get married. I got married just when I was we posted to Sungai Petani. So I decided before, if I don't get married, then I will never get married to her. So I said, but if we get married, we get posted out. May 13, all right. May 13, 69, I was not in KL. I was not in KL. I was in, we were deployed, that was my second posting, we were deployed to Tawau. Same talent. In those days, we do enrollment for 1 year. We serve in Malaysia for 1 year, we come back. And then we go again to another, say, Sabah, Sarawak, we come back. 1 year, unaccompanied tour. So that was my second posting. Deployment was in Tawau. And 69 was where I was in Tawau then. Of course, I really heard news because then we don't have phones and all that at the point in time. To get a call to my father's house, it took so long. It's so difficult to make a call. So we just received news from papers and all that. So I was away. My parents stayed in Kramat. I was very concerned. I used to call them up and see. But luckily, we have got a military deployment in the area. So my father was working then, and he would normally be escorted to work in the hospital because the tense situation. They were just scary. So I said, I'm always again, I mentioned in my press conference, don't talk about May 13th instead. So I said, for those who have not, some of them were not born. People today who question May 13th, some of them were not born. So I said, you're not born, you should keep quiet. Don't bring this issue out. Because you don't know. I felt, well, I was not part of that. I was not involved in that May 13th incident. I was not deployed then. But when I came back for holidays, I came back to it. I meet my friends and colleagues, and they talk about it. They said it's terrible. They say the burning of the shop lots and the shooting and the killing, the murdering and all that. So these are things that I when people talk about military, I say if you're not born here, please don't talk about it. We have gone through all this. We have all gone through difficult times. I've gone through difficult times in the 70s in particular, during the Malaysian the insurgency period of the 69 until 89 again. I've gone through that period. It's a tough period. People talk about wanting to create problem like this. I'm upset. I'm against all this. So I came up Patriot because of this. You have to talk about unity and paduan dengan patriotism. This how that's what we came in. This is how Patriot came in. Although we are soldiers, we are soldiers. We are soldiers. You're not licensed to kill. We're not licensed to kill. If possible, we try to avoid all this. Yeah? And my experience in Cambodia, for example, as a peacekeeper, I learned all this. I learned how valuable life is, and I've seen a mother a soldier just killing the mother in Cambodia. So all these are things images that I still remember, and I see I don't want all this to happen to the country. And people talk about what do you call this? The problems of trying to segregate races and all that. I'm totally against it. Totally against it. But I felt it. I think it's not going to do any good for the people of the country. You still talk about it. I forgot to bring a book on the May 13, which one of my officers wrote the book. A very good book. I forgot to bring it. Tell you the real life how we the forces went through all this, and we don't want to do it again, honestly. Those who were saying, some of my friends who were saying Kambaru there, they told me they see life. The people just kill themselves, killing each other and all that. Although I've not seen that happening, but they talk about it. And of course, they say, enough is enough now. We don't want to do this anymore. So it's not, I'm against, always against people who talk about patriotism. I'm always against it. I just don't talk about it. It's because there's a black spot in my history. And if you've not seen it, if not experienced it, don't talk about it. Okay, it's funny, I was doing as a staff officer of the quarters. At a point in time, the period of 69 till I was there till 71. That time was Perak, Kedah in particular, was going through a difficult period of the insurgency period. See, yeah. So we conducted a lot of operations. Yes, Kedah, Perak, and all that. Kedah in particular, the situation was bad. People outside do not see it, but we were inside. We know what's happening inside. See? So through that whole period of 69 until 69 started the insurgency started 69. If you remember that, 69. And we formed the quarter because to deal with this issue. Civil Brigade was special formed to deal with the issues of security in State Kedah. The communists, we're going to go back to the first Malayan emergency. Yeah, why the communists started this? Because soon after the Second World War, they were actually helping the British. Actually, the communists were helping the British fight against the Japanese. You can remember that, They were part of the helping the British. But soon after when they ended the World War, they wanted to take over the government. Actually, when the British left, they wanted to take over the government, and they want to bring communism to the country. That's where the British said no. That's where it started. So he said no. Okay, they had the bargaining talks and all that. Yeah, they wanted to be part of the government, but the British government then said no. That was well before independence. And they say, okay, we fight the British now. They were friends with the British. Now they fight the British. So they left. They moved into the jungle. They fought the first Malayan emergency. That's how it started. That's how communism started. And then it ended in 1940. When the first military ended for a while, then it started again in 69. Started again, because they still want the mission still the same. They want to take over the government. I don't think there's a connection. I don't think there was a connection. It's more racial than. You mean I can. There were a few thousand initially. And they were based from Thailand. They infiltrated into the country and they set up bases in Kedah, in Perak, in Pahang, and all that. You see that they started the base, the underground movement. I'm not quite sure that at the number. There were a lot numbers. And then of course the casualties were also a lot. We suffered quite a lot in the initial stages of the emergency period. The whole idea is to topple the government, to topple the government machineries, so that the government gives out hope, and then they take over the government. But because we were president then, the armed forces were president then, that stopped them from having pursued, having achieved what their missions are. Yeah. When I say it's bad, you may not have known this. A lot of soldiers have died in Kedah. There was an ambush. I remember way back in 69 when I was in Civil Brigade. I think there were 14 of them died. They were ambushed on the way to Lanintan, Lanintan area. But this was reported in the paper. People tend to forget this. And we had this helicopter crash. One of the people who died were my friends, particularly, where they were shot. The Nuri helicopter was shot down, and they died. Well, there were about 7, 8 of them. They're all my friends. The pilot was my friend. Those Sulaiman and Haris, my friend, my colleagues. You see, so these are things that people do not honor. When you talk about the resurgence of emergency, I think we should the whole nation should get together and fight all this. Communism cannot, although we have got rid of communism at the time being, but there's still that what do you call it, remnants are still there. Yeah, they're all based in Thailand now. They're not based here anymore. They've moved up to Thailand. But who knows? The generation want to start to start back this insurgency. We don't know. But so we are against communism. Yes, towards the end, the insurgencies, there was total collapse of the insurgency in way back in 1989, I think. That's where they didn't say they surrender. They never use the word surrender, you know. They said they lay down their arms. Was signing. Yes. Yeah, the 70s was the worst period, actually. The 70s, from 70 until the end of 70 was the worst period. And then it subsided, then it was like, and the intensity got less in the 80s, until they surrendered in 89. I was a captain in Company. Then, and I was posted out to another battalion. I became a company commander then. The battalion was based in Seremban. I served the battalion for about 5 years. And then I was promoted as major, and I went to another battalion, a newly raised battalion in Seremban. So I've served 4 battalions, 6 Romley, 15 Romley, 18 Romley, and 9 Romley. It was my last battalion where I commanded the battalion. I became commanding officer. That was my stint in 4 different battalions. As an infantry officer, the first battalion was Kluang, the second battalion was in Seremban, the third battalion was in Port Dickson, 18 Romley, and the last battalion was in Alostar, Kedah. So 4 different battalions. When we were in Seremban, we were still fighting the insurgency then. It was in the 70s. Yeah. Now we had some cases in Telembu, if you remember, the area in Kara and all that. It was quite, it was border between Seremban and Singsembilan and Pahang. And that area is quite sensitive. But we were not operating although we are based in Seremban, we were not operating in Seremban. We were deployed elsewhere. We would go up to Kedah, to Perak, and all that, to Pahang. We can deploy anywhere. The base is still there. And this is something which the public need to know. When we do that period of time, every time we go out, it's 3 months now. It's 3 months in, 1 month out, 3 months in, 1 month out. So total of 9 months out, 3 months with the family in a year. These people do not know. I think the police report is the same thing. It's 3 months to work. 3 months in the jungle.
What was it like? Being away from home.
Time very fast, because there are a lot of activities that we do. We don't just sit. We do patrolling and all that. We've been asked to move from sector to sector and all that. That takes time. And 3 months we just go off like that. We don't realize it. There was an instant where we were on the way back home. After 3 months, on the way back, we were deployed in Patriot, and our base was in Seremban. We were on the way back. We were stopped at Kuala Kubu. There was an MP that stopped us in Kuala Kubu. Convoy going back home.
Police.
The police stopped us. Go back. Pusing balik. Go back. Go back to the plane. That happened.
Because you were emergency.
There was some development. There was some information, all that. So we were redeployed. We didn't go back. We go back. 3 months. You go in again.
For another 3 months?
Yes.
No break.
You see? So this is what people do not know. That's what when somebody says, I remember I wrote in the papers, somebody says that the army today is just makan tidur aja. You remember that? You remember that? I was bloody upset with them. I was bloody upset. And I wrote something about it. They don't see this. Maybe now it's so peaceful because what makes the country so peaceful today? They don't question that. What makes the country so peaceful today?
They didn't see
our contribution in the past. These are our contribution in the past. The best experience I had actually beside the operations, the operational experience I had is my deployment in Cambodia. I was assigned as the contingent commander of Malaysian troops to serve in Cambodia then. Way back in, I was deployed in 1992. I was in Sabah then. I was deputy commander Sabah. I served 4 battalions over the period. I served as staff officer in a brigade during that period. I served as a staff officer in 6th Brigade in Sukatani. I served as a staff officer in 4th Brigade twice. One as a staff officer, one as a commander. And then I served, even in Sukatani, 6th Brigade, I served twice. So twice in Sukabutani, twice in Pahang, and then as a staff officer, a short spell in MINDEF. I'm not very much a staff officer in MINDEF. No, I'm not.
I prefer to be in the field.
I'm a field man. I'm an operational man. Of course, there are instances where my soldier died. Yeah? I was regarding command. We were operating in Perak then. One of my soldiers, we were preparing. They were preparing a landing point for resupply and all that. So he was cutting a tree actually, and that tree broke, snapped his face, hit his face. He died. You know, he was unconscious then. Then we called for a medical evacuation. He died in the aircraft. That was an incident that I felt so bad to see my soldiers die. And I can still imagine his face actually. Till today, I can still imagine his face. He's a very loyal soldier. He's a Javanese, very loyal soldier, big size guy. And he died because of that. But as I said, those two colleagues of mine who were shot, helicopter shot in Gubei. Remember that, the incident? The helicopter shot down. They're my very close friend. And what happened is, this friend of mine, Haris, his name Haris, Captain Haris Rajab. When my son was born, I took his name. So my son is Haris. Because of my situation, I really admired him.
This is the one in the helicopter?
Yes, the one with that. But I got a son when Haris, I took his name. Yeah, just to remember a close friend of mine. Well, I think the most interesting point in my career, I think when I served Al-Star, the one I was commanding officer of that of the battalion then, it was 9 Ramli then. That was in 80. I got promoted as Lieutenant Colonel in 1980. I was given the command. That was my because to command troops, given the battalion is an honor actually. You're a battalion commander, eh? And then it's how you want to how the battalion. Kalau battalion too weak, you're at fault. If you achieve good results, then you take pride lah. That's always been in my mind. How do I make up this battalion? I say, how do now people are watching me. As you are the CEO, people are watching you. How do you develop your battalion? And I'm happy because I had very good soldiers actually. My soldiers are. I've never heard my whole life in the army, commanding troops. I've never, for once, had soldiers come and complain to me about how the life in the army is, difficult life in the army. They never complain. None of the soldiers ever complained like that. They just take orders. It depends on how you treat them actually. You treat them well, of course they reciprocate. Because of my first command as commanding officer, and then at the point in time when you are commanding, then people know you. They observe you. Then I meet a lot of civilian friends, and because we attend meetings with the state and all. That's where I associate myself with state officers and all that. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that. But my first deployment in Sabah was in Labuan. I was in 1967, and I've served Sabah 4 times. I've served. My first service was in Labuan. Labuan was part of Sabah then. It was not Wilayah. Then my second tour was in Tawau. Yeah, and then my third tour was in Sandakan. My last tour was in Kota Kinabalu. So I served 4 times in Sabah and once in Sarawak. Sarawak was around the Kenawit area. You talk about. I didn't mention my PC. I said if you talk about unity, you go to Sabah, Sarawak. You know why? Usually Sabah, in Sabah, these two states, Sabah, Sarawak, you have a family who is a Muslim, who's Christian, like that. And you talk about unity. That's where unity is all about. I mentioned my statement. Not here, but in Sabah, Sarawak. They are the ones who are really practicing unity. Because of that. And I learned a lot of this. And I got friends who are, I go to their house, the father is a Christian, anak-anak dia Muslim. Nothing wrong, you see? That's the experience I had lah. For those who have not been there, will not know this. So I say you have to be there to know this. Posting, yes. My first posting in foreign land was in 1992. Okay, at the point in time, that was Cambodia. What time was going through a tumultuous period. There was civil war. There were four factions fighting for power. So the country was in turmoil. Yeah? So they requested the UN to come in to solve the problem. So we were deployed. We were deployed to try to make peace with these four factions. I was deployed in a place called Battambang. It was the second largest district in Cambodia. First was Phnom Penh, then Battambang. Where I had the four factions were there. These factions they were fighting each other for the past few years, So the country was in turmoil. So I had to find ways how to bring that back together. In my particular district. See, what I like about these Cambodians, they admitted to me, the Kamaruk guy, say why he likes Malaysian, because we are the same color. It's true. Pure Khmers are dark in color, like my color, darker than me. They are pure Khmers. But we have got now because of the mix with Vietnamese, with Chinese and all that, So they look more like Chinese and Vietnamese, but the true pure Cambodians are dark, and they're very beautiful people, very charming. You see, I know many times we have had people sent. The first Malaysian troop to serve the UN was in Congo. That was in early 60s, Congo. That was first Malaysian troop. Subsequently, we sent before me, they sent to Namibia. Namibia. Then they sent, of course, after Cambodia, and then they sent to Bosnia, all that. But they still maintain troops on peacekeeping till today. They still have troops. Yeah, that was a wonderful experience because we are there not to fight. We're there to make peace, bring these four warring factions together. And I'm glad to say that. I'm glad to say that we have achieved that. We achieved that. Yeah, yeah. Till today, Hun Sen is a friend of mine. Prime Minister he was. He came down here. He was very proud when he came to visit me. Was then wasn't a chief minister then. Visit me. He's very proud. He said we are very proud that Malaysia is here to help us. I was there for 15 months, but we were allowed to go back. The UN policy is that after 3 months you're allowed to go back for leave. So I planned my leave for my soldiers to go on leave. Block leave and all that. So all of them when the 15 months, I think each of them have gone home twice on leave. So I think just to of course, dealing with people who are at war, But I'm glad, as I said, I'm lucky that we are Malaysian. I think they like us because we are like them. I was a colonel then. I was a colonel commanding that contingent. When I came back in 1993. That's where I got a promotion. I believe so. Because this was said to me by the ambassador. The first ambassador was Dr. Deva. Deva was the first ambassador. Then when the chief defense forces visited me, he whispered to Deva that I'm promoting Arshad when he comes back. Well, when I first became a brigadier, I was posted in Mindef for a short spell. I was head of the reserve force, TA again. I was head of that reserve force. Only a short spell for 4 or 5 months, and then I commanded a brigade in Temerloh, in the 4th Brigade in Pahang. And that's when, from there, I served there for about 2 years, and then I was posted to my last posting in Sungai Besi as Chief of Staff of Army Field Command. So I retired. Yes, that post was to deal with responsible for operations of the whole country. Now there's now 2 commands now. One is for Semenanjung, the other command is in Sabah Sarawak. Oh, but I had good staff. I cannot be working alone, but I have to keep tab of what's happening in the country, and have good staff to support me. You're right. We have daily briefings. Daily briefing is a must because we have to be kept updated on what's happening to the country. So that kept us going. If there's anything that's not right, then we can react fast enough. There was one instant actually. I don't know whether you can remember this. An instant where I became very emotional about this event, where one of my soldiers who was operating in Johor, they couldn't do these days a lot of indons, illegal immigrants. They come into Johor from sea, you know. So what happened was the battalion that was responsible to maintain the security of that along the beach in Desaru side caught an illegal immigrants. So what the illegal guy did was they threw the anchor, no, anchor of the boat anchor at him, missed him. Kalau he could have died, you know. So the soldier jumped at him, walloped him, back in. What happened was he was brought to hospital to the police station. He died in the police station. That immigrant died. So my soldier was charged for murder. I didn't know about this. I knew about this when I watched the news in the morning. TV. Why is this soldier in uniform, in the common uniform, being brought to trial? I mean, charged for murder. So I investigated the case. Yeah, I investigated the case, and I had to fight the case. I said, you have to listen to what you have to listen to what the soldier says, whether it's true or not. You have to investigate, but not to charge him and bring to court like that. No. So I wrote the paper actually. That's where my mistake was, because the army wanted to as a serving general, you cannot write to the papers. I did that. That may be my mistake. I was angry. I was trying to defend the soldier. So that upset the people in civil defense. I was warned. I was on exercise. The pro marshal called me up. I said, "Shad, be careful. You're wanted. The chief wants to speak to you about this case." So okay, I said, "I'm ready. I'm ready." He scolded me. I told you, he scolded me. I would throw my rank on him. He said I was defending my soldier. So because of that, that was towards the end of my career. So whether I did it right or not, I'm clear in my conscience. I said what I did was right. And that time, I called up my legal officer. We had two legal officers in my quarters. To get the best lawyer for this chap to defend him. So he got a good lawyer. He's free now. He was not charged with murder. He's a free man.
Self-defense, huh?
Yeah, good defense. So that's the thing. I was very emotional. I was very upset about this event. So I was very upset. I couldn't care what's happening to because I was defending my soldier. Okay, after retired, I tried 1998, November 1998. No, because compulsory age. I retired at the age of then was 55, now 60, yeah? I attained the age of 55, I have to retire. I can't extend anymore. Well, what happened was during it was terrible, no? The feeling was terrible, actually. When they sent me off, my last day in office, they sent me off. I went back home, the world was silent, actually. You know why? Because when you're working, people come visit you, there were calls and all that, there were meetings and all that. But when you go home, the world is so silent. I say, what's wrong with me? That's how I felt when my first few days in Simon. So I said, I cannot go on like this. I cannot go on like this. So fortunately, I had a friend who said, "Shad, come join in my work with me." So okay, I said, "I'll be there I hope to serve you for till you 60." So I worked with them, and then I left at the age of 61, and I quit. We were dealing with this company dealt with designs of weapons and all that.
What kind of weapons?
Small arms, very small arms. We are trying to develop indigenously small arms weapons. We cannot afford to go for big arms and all that, cannons and all that, artillery gun. We go small arms from pistol right up to a sniper rifle. Yes, this is going to be ingenious. From nothing, from drawing board to we came up with prototypes. I'm glad that we have got I had a very good weapon engineer. He's a PhD holder. Then he was the one who designed We actually we initially we brought a guy from Belarus actually to work with us. And so we worked together with them in terms of design and all that, and we brought in our own engineers, and we worked together, and we managed to develop five different categories of five variants of small arm. So, although I was a bit disappointed in the fact that we could have been a manufacturer of small arm, but because of some problems. I don't want to say, mention the problem because it involves government agencies and all that. Now we are trying to be self reliant on small arms, but that was what we if you remember. I remember Tut saying this that we have to develop our own. I still remember. I still remember the quote, the quotation he made in one of the forums. He said, "We must develop small arms weapons. We cannot be dependent on foreign purchase and all that." So that's what we started. You see. As I said again, I will reiterate that. I think if the government was responsive towards our project, we would have been a manufacturer of small arms today. And there's something unique about weapon. I will not say that because it's something unique about the design of a weapon. Yeah, we tested. We got a team from the Ministry of Science who came down to we did our testing in Singapore. The Defence Research Centre. They have got the Defence Research Centre in Singapore. That's where we did our testing and all that. And they came down. They have a strategic team headed by Mosti of Science. They came down. A lot of them. They're not only from the officers from that ministry, but from industries as well, to evaluate our project. And of course, they said they approve it. They approved project. They said we'll give you a 1 million ringgit startup grant, develop one weapon. So I'm okay, no problem. Could have started, but I said some jadi. Yeah, the project is still there. Yes, I still got pictures of it. I sure I brought the pictures and show you the weapon. Yeah, we something unique. The weapons are unique. It was done by our own engineers, weapon engineer. It's a unique weapon. See, but people, that point in time, the government does not see this. Why should we be? We can't even produce a pistol? Come on now. Nations around us, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, they haven't developed their own weapons. Why can't we do it? Yeah, we still live. Even buy weapons, small pistol. We can't afford to make our own pistol. There's something wrong with this. Something wrong with it. I was very disappointed. The management too, the company's management was disappointed. I retired at the age of 55 in 1998, November. So November 2nd, my date of birth. After that, interesting, huh? After I told my boss, I said, enough, we're not getting any support from government of the day then with the project. So I resigned. And then went home thinking, what next do I do? And then I got into blogging. I became a blogger. There's nothing to do. I think no. When you see things are not happening correctly, you have to say something. Okay. I read a lot. Through blogging and all that. Raji Petra days, Hussein Ahmed and all that. A lot of bloggers, eh? So I like the way they expose themselves. Eh? They explain things which if they have got some disagreement, they expose themselves. Eh? So I said, I have a lot of things I could say. I said, that's why I came to blogging. At the end of the day, I got in trouble. I said. Well, the response was good. Because I go into areas where some people do not know. Eh? Of course, my tagline was crusade against corruption. That was my tagline. Crusade against corruption. So I go for issues like this, there's corruption issues and all that. It's not right. I write on that. The Incursion Sabah. Oh, okay. The Incursion Sabah by the Sulus. I left the service then. I remember I was no in service. I left the service. But I did criticize. I did criticize. I wrote something about this in the paper, in the media, about our failures in Sulu, the incident in Sabah.
How do you think it was?
There were, I think, there were we messed up ourselves. I must say this. Yeah? Although I'm no more in the army, I'm no more in service then, but I monitored. I followed that. I think the situation would have been dealt with easier if you allowed the local commander to take command. Because it was in Sabah, we have got a brigade commander there in Sabah. Give the brigade commander a chance to deal with the situation, not prime minister coming, giving talk, defense minister coming, giving talk, and all the chiefs coming and giving that absolute. To me, is absolute rubbish. If I was, I've served Sabah. I was deputy commander of Sabah there. If I was given that task as a commander dealing with this, I am responsible for the security and defense of Sabah. Yeah. Give me the resource. I can handle that. What I need is support resources to deal with the situation, not creating a new organization to fight that particular incident. To me, I totally disagree with it. The mess, I tell you, I hate looking at TV every day. The minister making some statement, the chief defense forces making some statement, the chief police officer making some. It's up to rubbish. Give just one guy who to command it, he becomes the total spokesman. That incident could be dealt with much easier. They waited for 1 month, 1 month, 1 month to deal with the situation. Why are you allowed to do this? How many people have died while waiting for that? So a lot of people have died. Look how they slaughtered the policemen and all that. That could not have, it should not have happened if you just give one guy to command the operation. That's it. So far as the armed forces is concerned, my only worry is this. Politics should be set aside. Well, don't get politics into the armed forces. I see this happening. I see this happening. Politics is been the armed forces have been so much, what do you call that? We seem to be so subservient to politicians. We cannot do that. We are
Any
professional.
particular examples that come to mind?
Okay, I don't want to quote them. I may be misquoted, but there is today. It appears to me. It appears to me that the armed forces subservient to politicians. That's my simple statement. I don't like to. We should not do that. We are professional. You say respect our rule. Respect our rule. Unlike the British, the British officers are very outspoken. I remember a case where one general he criticized the prime minister. Criticized the prime minister for giving not the right equipment for not giving them the right equipment. He criticized. You see? You should be like that. We are professional. Look at what happened to all these failures in cases now. Look what happened to LCS. Whose fault is it? If there was no political interference, this would not happen because of political interference.
Money involved.
Money involved. You choose your own contractors and all that. Come on. If it was done professionally, this would not happen. I hope not, lah. But it appears to be like that. I hope not. Yeah, a little interference. Purchasing equipment and all that. See, Black Hawk Down, I think the Americans have made the mistake by coming out with that feature film. It's not true. Yeah, it's not true. Because that battalion, 19 Romley, it's a mechanized battalion, and I was commanding 4 brigade, which is in Pahang. I was a mechanized brigade commander. They came under me actually. When they came back, returned. I spoke to the officers concerned. The division is different. And there was one in one interview, of the American officer who was involved in. He said what the Malaysian did was right. What the film depicts the wrong picture of the whole sea. This book, I read this book by Musharraf, In the Line of Fire. The title of the book is In the Line of Fire. He wrote about the achievements of the Pakistani battalion armored battalion in Somalia. He gave a very false picture. And I read that. I quoted. I wrote an email to the general in Pakistan. Tell what your Musharraf said is wrong. In a line. I don't know whether the book is available. In a line of fire, Musharraf. See, what happened was, I was told. What happened was, this is what was told to me. When the incident happened, the Black Hawk Down incident happened. The British, the American requested from the UN to rescue their guys, to rescue those troops that were there. So of course, UN responded and deployed our 19 Ramley, Malaysian contingent, escorted by the armored units of the troop of armored unit from Pakistan. So what happened when they were going to there? The Pakistan said, we don't have any night vision equipment, so we cannot. Night deployment was night, so they turned back. They turned back, and then the task has got to be undertaken. You see, so the Malaysian troops, well, without the cover, without their Pakistan, to me they takut lah. They returned back. That was the argument. I explained to in my email to the general in the quarters, Pakistan. So Musharraf wrote gave a wrong picture of the incident. They say the troops were doing well, and But then, in fact, there was a statement given by there was a video actually. A video of the U.S. colonel were involved. Congregating to the individual. I got accused of one company. I will not mention the company's name. Of corruption, all that. Being bred, getting a lot of contracts and all that. My problem was, what I should have done was to further investigate, to get documentary evidence and all that, which I did not do. I based on hearsay. And I got in trouble. And I writing this. My writing was read by that particular company, and they sued me. Oh well, I've never been sued in my life, so it was bad. But my lawyer friend helped me. Well, I was fine. Really. I will not mention the amount now. I paid the amount. but I went through. But the trial judge was good. Trial judge, I called me to the chambers and I briefed him on all that. And then he understood why I wrote this. Understood, although I have no documentary evidence to prove it, but he appreciated what I did. Very nice. That judge today is a court of appeal judge. See, as I said, as a writer of the blog, when you write. I know that I write with emotion, and you must not trust emotion. Really. you must use your senses more than your emotion. That was my weakness. Really. When I write with emotion. Even my current writing, if there's no editor to my writing today, I would kena tangkap lagi. Sure. But I have a good editor. I give my writing and he edit use the right words and all that kind. So I'm safe. Because of that experience I had. Oh yeah, it's interesting because at that point in time, there are a lot of issues, and a lot of things, and when you get readers support you, and then you see a lot of comments, and it motivates you to writing more. Yes, correct, right. But I think now the media is well off. I think media is the less control over the media now. Yeah. Yes. You look at the TikToks and all that. They say they discuss it quite openly. Yeah. After blogging, I started this Patriot.
Tell us all about Patriot, its early days, what it's about.
Patriot, I think I started that in I realized there's something wrong. Still, it was affecting me. There's something not right in the country, the management of the country. There's something right. There was a lot of corruption going on, and then because of racial issues and all that. And one particular incident, which I really was a bit upset, is The politicians, I said, once again, trying to control the armed forces, yeah, which I really do not like it. I will not mention the era because you, but they were sort of they want to control the armed forces, yeah? And I was against it. That 2017, 16, 2016, that period, yeah. So I said this is not right. You see, so I started writing again in the papers and all that. And then I said, no, I better make a statement, a wild statement, scoping and all that. But the point is, I don't have access to documents, you know. That's my problem, you see. I base on reports only. And it's not good enough. You want to you must have solid document with you. Then you can talk about it. And then with all this happening, which is that doesn't really which upsetting to me, but to see the country in that order. So I said I better come up with some statement. So I on my own, I conducted my own press conference. I held it at Lake Club.
Individual capacity.
The individual capacity. I decided to do so. I sent WhatsApp to my friend and say I'm having a press conference. It's at such and such place, time, such time. And then, of course, on my own, I have no network of preference. I just simply send. What happened? Of course, I got no money to rent that place, to rent a Lake Club. So I got hold of my friend and say, yeah, you a member of this club? Yes, I'm a member of the club. Yeah, I make use of your name. What is that? Okay, and then no problem. As long as you pay, yeah, okay, I'll pay. So I had no money. They charged me 2,000 ringgit for there. So what to do? I call my son. Boleh pinjam tak? Okay, no problem. He came the money. I held my first conference and I'm surprised. I had 120 guys who came down to support me. These are my friends in Soviet and some civilians as well. And that's I met KJ and all that. They got this message. They wanted to support me. So I had my own press conference. I spill out everything what was in my heart and all that. Why I conducted this press conference. But at the point in time, not very the mainstream media was not available then. I don't know for what reason because I was nobody then. Yeah, you need to have backed up by some association again. Because I was individual, so they were not responsive then. Of course, the social media, yes, yeah, they carried my press conference, and the guy who told me if you want to have a voice, you form an association was my good friend KJ John. You can tell, you can call him. You never tell him. He was the one who proposed to me, Arshad, you must form an association to your voice needs to be heard. So I formed an association, and I don't know how to do it because some support. Yeah, some guys who was holding me throughout the conference realized that you need to do something about this. They sense that I had some valid reasons to do this, and they were the one who helped me draft the constitution and all that, go to ROS, apply for. They were the one who support me. Okay, but the whole idea of Patriot is we are not anti. Remember, people always say I'm anti-government. I'm not anti-government. I've never said I want to fight the government. No, I'll go for issues. If the issue is wrong, I have to say it. Whether you like it or not, it's up to you. If you if you're gentleman enough to accept it, accept it. Otherwise, you just ignore it. So the question of that we are anti-government is never in my mind, even to today. Yeah, Patriot, first of all, is not a veteran. It's not a veteran organization. We are registered under ROS. We have got membership of. We started off with membership of the armed forces and the police. That's how we started. Yeah. Later on, we incorporated civilians as well.
Civilians.
Yeah, civilian. You can be my member, no problem. And your staff can be a member, no problem. So it is an NGO voicing out any discontentment that they have. They voicing out. Yeah, because they were the first lot to come in. So but the majority today is not us. It's civilians. The Rakan group, we have got three groups now. The Forces Police and Rakan. Rakan is this one. They are the biggest group today. Is it?
Interesting.
Yes. So but today now we our concern now actually besides going for issues that we think that need to be spoken up. Our effort now is to bring back the country together. It's more towards unity and patriotism now. This is what we're trying to do now. Yeah. It's hard work. It's not going to be easy because we cannot be working alone, as I said. We have to get the support of the government. So we work together with the government. Eventually, you have to work with the government to get this project done. Yeah. Besides, they call me they call me a DAP Barawa. You heard about it? Huh? They still think that I'm a DAP because I was photographed living in Siak, and that picture flashed throughout the video. So that's it. I cannot be seen to be photographed with anybody. I must be seen to photograph with the Prime Minister only. Come on lah. That's not me.
Call up by SB.
Oh, SB very friendly to me. I think although our during early stages of Patriot, we were supporting the government there. I must admit, because I want to get that government out. We have to support Pakatan Harapan then. Pakatan Harapan, yeah. 2018 period. I was seen to be very biased toward the opposition then. No, I think no. I know they were observing us, not me alone, but my team as well. And during the election, actually, during the election in 2018, there were 15 of us who were backing, 15 of my members who were backing me up during that period. All 15 of us, our phone was jammed. And I realized it's not the police does it. I was told it was our own intelligence, my military intelligence. I cannot. I cannot use the phone. Blaring sound, no. Blaring all the time. Padam. You can't use
15 people experience the same.
Yeah, same. All of us have the same thing. How they got our name, I do not know. How they got our numbers, I do not know. Yeah, our focus, I said, now, you must have heard that we have sort of a coalition now, a coalition of 61 NGOs. And then we had a press conference recently on 11th of July. I said 11th July, right? Now the response is very good. What I like is during that group, you notice, Chan, you notice, it was a totally multiracial grouping. You know, we got Bengali, Turban, we got Indian, wonderful, is it? This is the sort of society that I want to see. This is the sort of Malaysian that I want to see, is it? Not only a particular one, but we have a group, a lot, 100 and... So far as our government is concerned, we are although we are not registered, we don't intend to register an arrest. Let it be a loose coalition. Our main effort is, all of us, all 61 NGOs, is unity and patriotism. These are the two issues. We want to build up a society where a patriotic society, and everybody is united. That's what you want. It is, okay. I grew up, I was born in 1943, I'll be 80 in November, an old man. I saw all this, from the day I was born until I went, as I said to you just now, my early primary school, how I grew up, my secondary school, and how I joined the armed forces, and how life in the armed forces and all that. Everything was so nice to me. Even in the armed forces, we don't talk about race, I have commanded troops who are multiracial troops. We don't talk about race at all. We eat and play together. My school days, same thing. My school days, I was in an urban school. It's a multiracial school. In urban school, during my time, primary school, there were very few Malays, Likewise, when I was in secondary school, there were very few Malays. The Malay datang from Kambaru, the rest all mixed. So I've gone through this kind of life. I cannot change. And now I joined the army, it's the same thing. We don't talk about race. And how can I not talk about race? I don't want to talk about race. I want to talk about how we can grow ourselves to be a true Malaysian. And I think we can do it. You see, macam Indonesia is different. Indonesia they assimilate as opposed to integration. The assimilation. We don't do that because our forefathers felt it differently. We can still maintain that relation, tapi get together. But now it's worse with all this. I cannot understand. I simply can't understand the people today. They're more they're educated, but you don't see this. How can you develop a country which is disintegrated like this? Talk about racial issues and all that. You cannot. As I said in my speech, the same way. Kalau tak ada, there's no unity, perpaduan, no way the country can develop. No way. You must have perpaduan first. How do you do this? Well, I've got three children. One eldest is a girl and two boys. They're all married now. Married, and they have their own families and all that. They're quite happy with their families. And I've got 5. See?
What do they do for work?
Okay, my eldest, my daughter is now he's with Indah Water. He works in Indah Water. My first boy is with Samdabi, and my third kid is on his own. He's on his own business. And I got 5 grandchildren. My first grandchildren, oldest one, is married. He married at the early age of 24. And then my 4 other grandchildren, one is now in America. The other one is going to America in August, the girl. And the third one is still in year 9, I think. Then I got another, the youngest is 6 years old. The youngest is with me now. I always hope that my grandchildren follow me. I wanted one, but the boy, when he decided, my first boy was in US then. He just before graduating, he called me up and said, "Yeah, can I join the armed forces?" I said, "Well, you're most welcome to join the armed forces. When you come back, I'll apply you to join the armed forces." But he was caught. He was not caught. He got employment there. So since that, he worked with an American company here, came back here, then he started his own career. He didn't manage to, I didn't manage to get him to join the armed forces. But I always like to see that my children emulate what I do actually. But thanks God, they're all like that. All of them like that. All of them think like me.
Principle.
Yeah. They told all of them like that. I'm glad. They're not racist. All of them are not racist. They've got friends all over. Hari Raya, they bring all their friends to my house. You see? And I like that. So I hope. But the problem is my other 4 grandchildren. The 3 actually. The youngest one is not schooling yet. They go to international school. That's where but it's different. They're so different. My kids, my eldest girl was in local school in which school was that? Dekat where dekat the mining pool tu, dekat along Jalan Nanto Razak sekolah, the girls' school, in town. And then my first boy tu was in VI. My last one was in Malay College, he's the most stubborn one. Now what happened? Don't talk about him. He's very stubborn. He was the brightest of my 3 kids. Very bright. He was top scorer in school. And then he wanted to do. Initially he wanted to do computer science. I got him a place to go to the States. I had friends in Director Umara, a friend of mine. So where do you want to send your son? He wants to do computer science. But he said, "No, I'm not going to do computer science. I will do accountancy." Oh God! So chilled. Tukar. Actually, the director of Claremont took it down. So he went to Australia. Completed his accountancy. He came back. He came back in 1998, the year that I was to retire. When he came back, you know what was his first words to me? You were surprised. "Yeah, I'm not going to work with anybody. I'm going to work on my own." My goodness. How is this? He was offered a job. He don't want a job. I want to work on my own. So he started his own business. You know what business he's doing? Making cakes.
Oh,
This is, he got know nothing. He doesn't know how to make it, but he learned from my wife.
it's practical.
Yeah, he did his own bakes. He do dog gifts and all that.
Oh,
Hey Raya, he make it. This is his business.
and he's happy.
Oh, he's happy. He wanted to become. What happened was he refused to do communist science. He wrote an article. No? I read this article. Why he wants to become why he wants to do accountancy. He says he wants to become a trillionaire. We're already in the States now, the second year, and the girl is going to America in August. Pretty about that. All three, and they're first, second, third. The children belong to my son. All three of them are. But I like them because they are very broad-minded. Yeah. And they're respectful, very respectful of me. When I visit them, they all hug me. I don't know. My term in Patriot is expiring in November. I can only serve 3 terms according to the Constitution. 3 terms of a total of 6 years, 2 years. I don't know whether I feel I had enough of it. I'll be 80. I'll be 80 in November. And I told my members, I had enough of it. I think I need to do something else. But I will still keep on writing, I said. I keep on writing. Well, I have no thought actually what I'll do after this, but certainly I'll keep on writing whatever I can. And I try to contribute whatever little experience I've had and pass it down to my members. At the same time, when we created this gabungan, this coalition of 61 NGOs, they have made me the interim chairman. So I have to continue. Although all the meetings I held here actually. Our next meeting will be on 25th. We have a meeting here. And then since I've been appointed interim chairman, I think I have to continue. Whatever I do, continue what I do, Patriots continue and help government. I only hope, before I close my eyes, to see a united Malaysia. That's my only aspiration. That's my only hope. I like to see you and me talking like this, and I'm talking to some people like that. That's what I want. There's no racial bias, no religion is aside. You can have a religion, I can have a religion. That's what Quran says. You practice your religion, I'm free to practice my religion. That's what's it. But without unity, the country goes nowhere. You see what's happening today, okay? And I must say this, I think you must give the unity government time to let them complete their tour, not talking about toppling the government anymore. I wrote that, I passed that, I did write something on this, toppling of the government. It's wrong. If I was the head authority, you toppling the government, I will arrest you. You're not supposed to topple the government. You go through the democratic process. That's what it is, not talking about toppling the government midway. What they did was the Sheraton move, I think it's absolute rubbish. If I was authority, I would have arrested all of them and put them in prison. No, you want to topple the government? We are a democracy. The votes must count. You cannot be hijacking the government in midway. You want to have government? Go to parliament. If there's no vote of confidence, there's no confidence. Go for election. That's the right way. So that's it.